everyone. My name is Sabrina Lo, Yu-Ling Lo. It's my Chinese name. I'm from Taiwan. I'm currently working in the Department of Early Childhood Education at Asia University. And this is my 4th year working in Asia University. I graduated 2015 at the University of Texas at Austin in the Department of Special Education. And then thank you, Andy, for the brief introduction. And I wanted to share a little bit about my past experience. I was an English teacher for the Taipei School for the Visually Impaired. So that's the reason why I was interested in and then got myself into the area of special education. So after that, I found myself wanted to devote myself and my time in the area of special education. So that's why I applied the University of Oregon for my master's degree, and then after that, the University of Texas at Austin for my doctoral degree. And I'm also the mother of 2 girls. These are my 2 little girls. They're not little anymore. Okay. So today I'm going to share with everyone the young children with special needs, especially the developmental delay, about their educational side of it. And I wanted to share how does literacy and art help students with the special needs, especially in the classroom setups. So in Taiwan, we usually, in our public schools, public preschools, we use learning centers for all the students to learn. And then I will share a little bit about how do we incorporate students with special needs along with regular developed students. And then I'll share a little bit how to design and set up the learning corners or learning centers. And then lastly, the points to consider for children with special needs. Okay, so just a little bit about children with special needs. The development of infants and young children has a certain developing speed. So in this picture, although it's in Chinese, but we can see the 1st month, 2nd month, and 3rd month. Their gross motors and their fine motors, their language, and then their cognitions, and then their social interactions with others. So we know about like 6 months they can sit pretty well, and then with a little support. So children, they follow the developing speed. But however, children with developmental disabilities or delays, they have a group of conditions due to an impairment of physical, learning, language, or behavioral areas. And these conditions might begin during their developmental period, and they may impact their day-to-day functioning. And if not taken care of, they might affect them throughout their whole life. So if a children fall out of the normal development of the same age children by 20%, they're delayed. He or she should be evaluated by experts. That's what we told our teachers, to be very cautious about that. And we also know that early childhood interventions help babies and young children with developmental delays or disabilities. And so I was always wondering, like, how many kids or how many children will be affected by these disabilities and delays. So the World Health Organization estimated that 6 to 8% of children, they might have developmental delays. So early intervention is very, very important. They can support their learning whether it's physical or educational or their everyday life. The early interventions can help them to develop new behavioral or language skills or social skills. So that's why we are really, it is very important to do early interventions. This is some numbers provided. Because I'm from Taiwan, so I'm more familiar with the numbers, the statistics from Taiwan. So just to give everyone a little glimpse of how many kids with developmental delays are reported and identified in Taiwan. So these are separated by cities. So this is New Taipei City, Taoyuan, Taichung, where this is the city I'm living right now. So you can see here the percentage of identification is around 1% to almost like 4%. So comparing to the numbers that's here, the WHO numbers, it's still the identification rate is still really low, considering 6 to 8%. So this is the statistics in Taiwan. So we are still working on identifying kids with developmental delays and kids with special needs. In education area, about 92.16% of young children with special needs, they are placed in the regular education classroom in Taiwan. So that means the inclusive education is it's the main trend in Taiwan. So kids with special needs, they are placed in regular classrooms. They are learning with other kids. So you can see the pictures, the right-hand corners. These are two regular developing kids, and then they accompany the one special ed kids to do the activities. In Taiwan, we usually put one children with special needs in the classroom, in preschool classrooms, about 30. Usually one classroom contains 30 children. But every city is different. So in Taipei, one special ed kids can go in the 30 children classroom. And then in Taichung City, we can accompany two children with special needs in one classroom. And then in the New Taipei City, it's 1 per 10 children. So the ratio is a little bit different from city to city. So it's decided by the local educational government. So when the kids are in the regular education classrooms, what activities or what setup of the environment can they be learned in the educational environment? And also we are talking about to maintain their education right, so they can still learn in the regular classrooms. I need to go back to the first page. Here, sorry, bear with me. Okay, here on the right hand side is the SDGs 4, quality education, and then SDG 10, reduced inequalities. So for the inclusive education, including kids with special needs in the regular classrooms, they are actually fulfilling these 2 SDG goals. Okay. So the setup of the classrooms, we in most of the public preschool classrooms, we use learning corners, or you can say learning centers, or some would say learning areas in classrooms. And I will show everyone some pictures that representing the learning corners or learning centers in the real classroom. So these are the pictures I took in the real classrooms. So young children, they can learn best by experiencing with their environment through hands-on activities and play. So play is really, really important for kids. And how do teachers lead the students or kids to play? That's very important. So we need to create environment that initiate or inviting them to come and play. So these learning centers, they are child-centered, and they are ideas derived from open education. So teachers set up in these centers and then put materials inside, and then ask the children to complete the tasks that they can learn from these centers. So some of the popular learning centers are art centers, block, literacy, drama, play, mathematics, and manipulative, and nature and sciences. So here you can see the your left-hand side is the math and manipulative corner or center. On your right-hand side is the literacy corner. And then you can see it's very, very cozy. It has the soft sofa and then chairs and tables and bookshelves for kids to learn. So this is the whole classroom plan. On the right-hand side, the classroom plan for the learning centers. So these centers or corners are separated by low cabins or shelves. So as you can see here, these are all shelves and cabins that separate each corners. So this is the literacy corners. Sorry, they're in Chinese, but I put English here. This is the math corners. This is the drama play. This is the art corners, and this is the block corners. And then this is the blackboard, and then this is the teacher preparation area. So usually teachers, they in one classroom, they can set up to 3 to 6 corners in their classrooms. So in this case, there are 5. And teachers will set up limits for numbers of students that can be in a corner. So usually in one corner, there are 4 to 6 children at the same time. So you cannot put too many students or children in one corner. Yeah, it will be chaos. And then the teachers will set up rules in the corners, such as when you're in the corners, you have to lower your voice, you have to tidy up before you leave, you have to respect others or appreciate the art or the work of other students. Usually the corner time, teacher will set up 40 to 15 minutes. So they may set up one in the morning and then one block of time in the afternoon. And some teachers, they want the student to have more free time to play in the corners. So they might add time up to like 90 minutes. So I've seen classrooms, they do that before. And for free play, they can pick and choose their corners. So if, for example, like Johnny wanted to read in the literacy corners for 20 minutes, and then he still has 20 minutes, and he can say, oh, okay, I wanted to play in the block session for my next 20 minutes, and then he can do that. So it really emphasized the free choice of the students or children. And then when the teachers set up, they need to set up quieter corners with quiet corners, meaning like in the literacy, it's more quiet time, like students, they read or they do their work in the literacy corners. And then if you put block corners by its side, it'll be too noisy. So usually we'll put math or manipulative corners side by side with the literacy corners. And then if they need discussion, like a drama play or block, they put side by side together. So they won't disturb or interrupt with each other. So this is the example of the name tags for learning corners. So the kids, they take their name tags and then they put it in front of each corners. That means that I'm going to work in these corners for like maybe 10 minutes or 20 minutes. And so the teachers can tally like how many students are in the corner. On the right-hand side is the picture of nature and science corner. So the teacher pick and choose a lot of the seeds and different kind of from different kind of plants, and then they put it on the table for students to observe. And this is the block corner activities. Students can choose to work on their own. So they just have to take a mat and then pick the blocks that they wanted to play. And then maybe the teacher will give them assignments like build a 101 tower from Taipei, or build your home, or build a garden. So you can work by yourself, or on the picture on the bottom, you can build the blocks with your friends. And then actually there's one special need kids in this 3 people group. He's here. Seems like he's helping others. And then this is the literacy corner activity. So teachers set up activities, and then teacher design activities for kids to learn, and individually or in groups. For example, this one, they work in group. The kids were tracing the Chinese words. This is the ancient Chinese for sun, this is the moon, and this is the tree, this is the mountains. And then this is the Chinese characters that we are actually using right now. So from this work, they learn how to trace, and then this is good for their future learning and writing. And then down here is also an activity in the literacy corner. It's the matching of the color and then its name in Chinese, of course. So how does learning corners and areas help children with special needs? Because children, they need to work together to help each other. So the picture before, you see the kids with special needs, they can also initiate help. They can help others too. They can gain the achievement. And then they're also accepting other people's help. So it becomes mutual. And then the regular developing kids can work with children with special needs, providing them the support. So here we're talking about the theory of ZPD, the zone of proximal development. One of the good thing about putting kids work together is that they can help each other, and the regular developing kids, they can help kids with special needs and helping them to do it better, or helping them to do the work. When children initiate free play, and then the teachers can provide guidance and learning check. So in this activity, the teachers actually design the literacy corner activities, and then the teacher will check after the students finish. So finally, some points to consider, because making the learning corners welcoming for young children with special needs is very important. So how does the teacher set up the area? It's very important. The environment, the materials you put inside. So these are some of the points that I think are very important when if teachers wanted to set up learning centers for kids in the regular or inclusive classrooms. The first one is to set up rules and implement them. So like you have to restate the rules, like lower your voice, or respect others, or keep the area clean, for example, and then reinforce them, because the kids need to be reminded all the time, like literally all the time. And then the teacher, they can set up example by organizing materials and areas by like colors, sizes, or shapes. In that way, the kids will learn from the environments that's set up for them. And then they can support children and gradually remove your supports and let them learn on their own. This is very important because kids, they learned by looking at examples. So the first examples might be teachers. And then when the teacher removes support, they have to like come up with their own learning, and then they have to learn on their own. So this is, I think this is really important, that the teachers, sometimes they need to let go and then let the kids learn on their own. And then teachers need to resolve the conflict immediately, like when kids are fighting or fighting over something, the teachers has to be there and then resolve the conflicts. And then let the children know ahead of the time what you are expecting. So for teachers, you have to say the rules before they enter the centers. And you have to state that what outcomes you want them to learn, so they know what to expect and then what work they have to accomplish after the learning center time is over. And I think I used up all my time. So thanks so much for listening.